Hello and welcome back, or welcome if you are new here. My name is Justina. Welcome. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back. All right, so here today I'm going to talk about the Mercury stationing direct in Aries on the 25th of April. So this is amazing, amazing news. Mercury is the planet that rules our communication, thinking process, our judgment, our rational mind, our voice, but also anything to do with electronic devices, anything to do with transportation, cars, buses, airplanes, but also short distance travel. Now, when Mercury is retrograde, things slow down, first of all. There's a greater or stronger tendency, if you will, towards misunderstandings, and generally it's a time for reviewing, reassessing, returning to projects, ideas from the past. So anything brand new doesn't usually work out, and even if it does, you have to implement a lot of effort. So here we are generally working with whatever that we have initiated in the past, and we leave the brand new ideas and goals for the time when Mercury stations direct. Now, when the planets stations direct or retrograde, these are really important days. And the best day, of course, is when the planet stations direct and it turns from the retrograde motion, because this is when the planet regains its strength. This is when generally we get this boost of energy. Of course, it will take a few weeks for Mercury to regain its full strength, because remember that we also have pre and post shadow period, but generally the retrograde phase is the strongest one. So Mercury stations direct on the 25th. Generally, life will slowly start to resume, and you will see that that mental clarity that you may have lacked throughout the retrograde phase will suddenly dissolve gradually as well. Just to let you know that this retrograde ends at 15 degrees of Aries, and then the post-shadow period will end at 27 degrees of Aries on May the 13th. Right. So here, if you have any major placements in your chart at around 15 degrees or even 27, then here pay attention, because this could be a very significant phase in your life. So pay attention to your thoughts, to your intuition, to generally your communication as well. There could be lots of interesting ideas coming through your mind. Mercury has been moving back and forth, and now it will yet again cross the degree of the eclipse. So many people mentioned that they haven't actually felt or experienced much change in their life with the Aries eclipse with the eclipse in Aries on the 8th of April. I can relate to this to a certain extent, but here, for the eclipse to generally be fully activated, we need some triggers. We need some triggers, especially if you don't have any placements in Aries at around 19 degrees. So here, Mercury will cross the degree of the eclipse. So yet again, it will trigger these energies. And just so you know that you need to wait for the first quarter moon in January 2025. And this is when you will see some really interesting results or outcomes of whatever that you may have initiated even subconsciously or unintentionally or unawarely during April 2024. And of course, Saturn and Neptune are on their way to Aries, and they will also activate. So generally here, whatever that you start work on during this eclipse cycle in Aries, you have this amazing opportunity to make something of it. Even if it will take quite some time, when Saturn comes into Aries and will go over the degrees of the eclipses that occurred in Aries between 2023 and 2025, this is when things will generally stabilize. Saturn brings stability, structure, and rewards. So pay attention. All right. So yes, generally life resumes with Mercury regaining its strength. Things are moving forward. And let's see what this means for you on a more personal level. So here I follow Western astrology, tropical zodiac, and whole sign system in all the forecasts on this channel. Here, Mercury in Aries will remain until the second part of or the middle of May, more specifically at which point it will move into Taurus. And also, what else I wanted to mention is that, yes, the North Node here is in Aries as well. The North Node and Mercury combination can bring some really interesting news, ideas, a forward momentum as well. All right, so let's not waste more time and see what's happening, what this event will mean and bring for you on a more personal level. So as always, I will share my screen with you so that you can see what I'm talking about. And we will start from the first sign because this is, of course, happening in the sign of Aries. So Aries, here, this is your first house. And life is busy. Life is probably really, really busy at the moment for you because there's so much happening in your first house. So it's all about you, your identity, how you present yourself to the outside world, your goals, hopes, healing. Lots of healing is going on as well. Now, I told you earlier that this eclipse will not this eclipse. Mercury will cross over the degree of the eclipse and it will activate it here shortly after it stations direct. So really, really pay attention to what's happening around you. Try to be as present as possible. Now, with Mercury stationing direct, yes, you will regain that mental clarity. It will be easier to make decisions as well, perhaps decisions that will felt complex. They might suddenly feel like more straightforward. Communication, self-expression will be much easier as well. But here we also look at the houses that Mercury rules in your chart. This is your third house. So yes, communication, judgment, rational thinking. And overall, if you are a writer or if you generally write as a hobby or for work purposes, here, if you experienced some kind of creative blockages, this will also dissolve as Mercury moves forward. Now, here, Mercury rules over your sixth house. So if you experienced any delays at your work, if it was difficult to meet deadlines, or generally things at work were hectic, or if you experienced some difficulties when it comes to connecting with people from your work, coworkers, misunderstandings, things will also clarify. Here, Mercury will bring more clarity, and there could be some big announcements, decisions as well that you'll be making as Mercury stations direct, because Mercury is stationing direct as it also is conjunct the North Node. So this could be a really, really interesting day for you, dear Aries. And I think that this is also when you will, moving forward, you'll be able to be more organized. You'll be able to manage your time with more ease. So here, perhaps if you struggled with productivity, this shouldn't be the case anymore when Mercury station is direct. Here, let's move to the next sign now. Thank you. Right, so Taurus, this is happening in your 12th house. So the 12th house deals with our subconscious mind, our sleeping routine, any habits or negative tendencies that we often develop. And perhaps they affect the rest of our lives. But at the same time, this area of also rules spirituality. And there's a lot of energy that is connected to that introspection. So this could have been a very introspective time when Mercury was in a retrograde motion. You may have been a lot in your head, thinking, rethinking, re-evaluating many aspects of your life. Your sleeping pattern could have been affected, but at the same time, it could have been a very spiritual time for you as well. And at the same time, you had this amazing opportunity to look at your private life, private aspects of your life, from a very different angle, from a very different perspective. So I think Mercury now moving in a direct motion will bring a lot of clarity regarding certain aspects of your life that perhaps you couldn't stop thinking about during the retrograde phase. Mercury rules over your fifth house. That's the area of children, conception, your business, creativity as well. So here, Mercury retrograde could have brought delays when it comes to your business. It could have brought delays when it comes to your creative side of psyche. So with Mercury stationing direct, that creative blockage that you may have experienced should dissolve, but at the same time, you should be able to also resolve any issues, dilemmas that may have occurred with your children or with your romantic partner. So Mercury in a direct motion brings a lot of clarity. Now, this is still going to be an introspective time to a certain extent until Mercury moves into your first house, Taurus. But I think what will really help is here again, I mentioned in the previous video, journaling, writing things down, researching information that perhaps you're not sure that you have answers to. So that's also, that's very 12th house energy, that mental curiosity. Journaling and self-discovery is also really, really beneficial. But at the same time, I think there is this forward momentum here that will take place in the area of creativity, business. But since the ruler of this house is in the 12th house, there is still that behind the scenes energy. And I think when Mercury moves into Taurus, things will be very different. I think there will be that energy to perhaps get yourself out there or to share some of the ideas, thoughts that you may have had during Mercury in Aries transit, and you might have this need to share them with others. When Mercury moves into Taurus. Now, Mercury rules over your second house, and here with Mercury moving in a direct motion, this could potentially bring like a forward momentum when it comes to your financial sector. So if you have your own business and perhaps things have been moving slowly, you've been revising and perhaps implementing some modifications, adjustments to how you run your business. Perhaps there have been as many sales as you would have hoped. Mercury in a direct motion here brings that forward momentum, but perhaps you'll be also implementing some changes into your financial area of life. Perhaps this is when you will be more careful with your finances, and perhaps you're implementing changes, how you want to manage this area of life. Perhaps you've got some new ideas to manage your finances more effectively as well. So I think there could be also some positive changes that you could be implementing into your area of money to establish a more financial security and stability in your life. Perhaps you'll be also returning some items that you purchased during the retrograde phase, especially if you kept your receipts and you didn't use these items. You might change your mind. All right, so now let's have a look at the next sign. Thank you, Taurus. Geminis, this is happening in your 11th house. So this is your friendships, groups, your stand in your social circle, your any business networking opportunities, long-term goals, hopes, plans. And here with Mercury stationing direct and conjunct the North Node, I think for some Geminis, this could be a day when you might have some really interesting ideas for yourself, for your life. So definitely pay attention, don't rush. And I think take some time during the day for some peace and quiet so you can really think clearly and deeply about the next step you want to take in your life, because this is a really interesting day of that North Node being activated. The North Node is about the future, the unexplored. And the North Node generally helps us to direct us in the right direction. Perhaps this could be about the new connection that you'll be making with another person, or you'll be deepening this connection. This could be also the case, joining new groups, for example, to meet like-minded people. This kind of energies are here very much activated. Now, at the same time, if you wanted to implement some changes when it comes to your long-term goals, hopes, and wishes, then here you might very well do so once Mercury stations direct. It will also go over the degree of the eclipse, so it will trigger that eclipse. So see if you can remember what happened in your life, or what is generally happening in this area of your life. What kind of changes are being initiated and are taking place, whether you join new groups, or perhaps whether there are some changes in your social circle. Here, Mercury, the planet of communication and rational thinking, rational mind is generally going to trigger. So it's all about some news or some new connections, or perhaps generally that opportunity to find your voice within a special or a specific group environment, for example. Now, here Mercury rules over your first house, of course. This is your ruler. This is fantastic news that Mercury is stationing direct, because you will generally have a greater ability to express yourself more authentically, freely, and more confidently. Mercury retrograde perhaps could have brought that ability, tendency towards overthinking, overanalyzing oneself. Here, generally with Mercury stationing direct, you might be implementing positive changes to simplify your life, to make your life a better experience overall. But at the same time here, self-expression and generally, I think you will experience more peace, inner peace, more mental clarity as well. Now, the fourth house is also the house that is ruled by Mercury. Mercury station direct will also bring more clarity regarding home-related matter, domestic life-related matter. But I think this could be also about some domestic or home-related renovations, refurbishment taking place, or I think it's things will be moving forward. So generally, if you had an idea connected to some kind of renovations, or when it comes to implementing some changes at your home, if things were delayed, unclear, or on hold, Mercury in a direct motion brings more clarity, a forward momentum in these aspects of your life. So here, your home related plans and projects here, they will likely move forward and will be easier to achieve them, to plan them, to find the right specialists who could help you to make your dreams a reality. Right, so thank you. Cancers, for you, this is happening in your 10th house, so your career. And I imagine that April was a really busy month for you in your career, and there could have been some setbacks. There could have been perhaps some projects that it felt like it was difficult to move forward or to make a speedy progress. Now, Mercury moving in a direct motion, changing direction. This could be also about you changing your mind about a specific career-related goal, objective that you've had on your mind. So yes, change of perspective, change of dynamics, as well, a forward momentum. And perhaps if you've been awaiting to hear from a specific organization in regards to an application that you submitted recently, then with Mercury moving in a forward motion, things will speed up and you will likely hear from them in a very, very near future. So overall, Mercury retrograde slows things down and brings that introspective energy with Mercury in a forward momentum and also changing direction and aligning with the North Node. This could bring some good news. This could bring more clarity about the direction you want to take. This could also mean that you want to change your mind, change your job, change your career. This is very possible, especially since the eclipses are here. And I wouldn't be telling you that if it was just Mercury retrograde and nothing else, but you've got the nodes here, you've got the eclipses here. So yes, changes in the career area are definitely happening and are very, very possible. This is generally a year to take action. Next year in April and March, April, we will yet again have another solar eclipse in Aries that will simulate this area of your life, and this will be the final one on these axes. And then we will move into very different sphere, very different energy. So this is a time, the next 12 months, to take action. If you're not happy where you are, if you are unsure about your career direction, this is a time to generally think deeply about what is it that you want, take notes, do your research. The energies are in your favor. Right. So at the same time, Mercury rules over your 12th house and your 3rd house. So here again, news, information, I think you might be, some of you might be also studying, learning new skills, professional, enrolling in professional development courses or seeking business coach advice as well. But I think interviews, important meetings, this is really, really highlighted, or perhaps some really interesting meetups, business networking opportunities. Keep your eye open for these. It's really, really important, especially if you want to change something in your career, if you want to change your job, if you want to generally climb in your career ladder. And now is the time to stay alert. Keep your eyes open for the opportunities emerging in your life. Now, here with Mercury ruling over your 12th house, you may have been a lot in your head as well. A lot of introspective energy when Mercury rules your 12th house, and it's retrograde as well. There is a tendency towards overthinking, overanalyzing, and perhaps generally here lots of reflection. So once Mercury station is direct, yes, mental clarity, and that mental clarity or mental lack of clarity should dissolve. It should be easier to make decisions, but at the same time, pay attention to your thoughts, pay attention to your intuition, and don't miss any opportunities if you get invited to any business networking events or any social business meetups as well, because here the energies are in your favor. Look at all these planets in your upper part of the chart. This is a time to grow professionally. This is a time to build your outside persona as well. All right, so here we go. Thank you very much, Cancers. Leos, your ninth house is activated. So what does it mean? When Mercury is retrograde, there is a lot of introspective energy. It's difficult to make decisions. Very often we come up with some brand new ideas out of the blue, and we are so impatient, especially with that Aries energy, to implement them as soon as possible. It's very difficult to wait until Mercury stations direct. But here, very often when Mercury stations direct, you realize, hold on, what was I thinking? This isn't actually what I want. So for this reason, it's not a good idea to implement major big changes during Mercury retrograde, because sometimes we just don't think clearly and we have very unrealistic ideas at times. So here, this is your life purpose, your life principles, your life philosophy. It looks like there's a major shift of energy. We've just had an eclipse in Aries here on the 8th of April. Now Mercury will cross over this, the degree of this eclipse, so it will trigger that eclipse. It will awaken it. And at the same time, we've got this stationary motion happening as Mercury is also conjunct the North Node. Pay attention to your thoughts, pay attention to what's going on around you, be present, be mindful, but at the same time, many Leos will be redefining their life philosophy in the upcoming weeks. Your life philosophy, your life principles. It looks like your outlook on life is also undergoing a major shift and change. You want to be free, you want to be independent, and generally you want to free yourself from any restricting energies, beliefs. And it's all about seeing life from a larger perspective without limiting oneself to just what's here next to you and around you. Here, it's all about having that big vision. Whatever happens also in the ninth house, it has a massive influence upon your career, your public persona. Take advantage of these energies. This is your time to make something really, really special of your current life situation. Perhaps you'll be learning a new language. Perhaps this is about a visa, passport application, or a legal case taking a very different turn. Here, this is also connected to your university degree or college. For example, if you've been wanting to change the subject that you're studying or anything else, here with Mercury stationing direct conjunct the North Node, you will actually, in the upcoming days or weeks, you will probably know what you want from your life, which direction you want to take. This is your life purpose area of life as well. So really pay attention which direction you want to take. The North Node is about the future, the unexplored. The North Node is helping you to reach your purpose, to realign you with your purpose as well. Now, Mercury rules over your second house. So here, this will be a forward momentum in the financial area. If you've experienced any setbacks and perhaps if you had to be kind of tight with your budget, especially since Saturn is opposing this area of life and any placements you may have here in your second house. So here with Mercury moving forward, I think there is a more optimistic energy here for you, but maybe some opportunities connected to financial growth, maybe some new ideas that will make some of your goals and dreams and objectives more realistic. Now, at the same time, perhaps you're taking your business on a global scale. Perhaps this could be about an opportunity to participate in some kind of festival or whatever it is. If you've been feeling negative about yourself, about your life, if perhaps this Mercury retrograde affected your self-esteem and self-worth as the second house, where Virgo is present and ruled by Mercury, with Mercury stationing direct and conjunct the North Node, really pay attention to your thoughts, because this is a time when you might finally think, okay, I can turn it around and I can work to make my dream a reality. Think about the law of attraction, because you might be really interested in that at this point as well. Okay, so now Mercury also rules your 11th house. So this could be connected to your friendships, your stand within your social circle as well. Maybe if you experience some kind of strange energies with a friend, acquaintance, this could be when Mercury is stationed direct. Things could generally resolve, and it might be easier to communicate with others. It might be easier to connect with others. Perhaps if you felt like you wanted to distance yourself when Mercury is retrograde, with Mercury stationing direct, you might feel like you want to reconnect with your friends. You want to be more social, and especially since Jupiter is coming to your 11th house. So yes, you will expand your social circle here in the second part of 2024. You will have an opportunity to meet like-minded people, and you will be very stimulated to align yourself with people who have similar beliefs, who think the way you do. All right, so here you could be also redefining your goals, hopes, and dreams for the future. And here, thank you very much, Leos. And let's move into the next sign. Virgos, this is a big deal for you, of course. Mercury is your ruler. When Mercury is retrograde, very often you feel like you want to withdraw, you want to think things through, and you see life from a slightly different angle perspective. And I think you did a lot of deep and profound thinking during this Mercury retrograde. Mercury is in your 8th house. With Mercury in the 8th house, the eclipses, we generally have this tendency to think about very deep aspects of life, our purpose, any difficult energies from the past. So you could have been remembering your past, especially those difficult experiences and memories. But at the same time, with the eclipse and Chiron conjunction on the 8th of April, you had this amazing opportunity to heal and generally drift away or move away from these difficult memories and energies that perhaps act as a blockage towards personal growth and personal fulfillment. Now, bear in mind that Mercury will go over these degrees. As soon as it stations direct, it will regain its strength. So it will activate this area of your life. You might be also going through major financial changes as well, perhaps in your business partnership, in your relationship. So you will know best how it will play out in your life. But with Mercury stationing direct, conjunct the North Node, this could be a time when you will be making some major decisions. And I think you will regain a lot of clarity that you may have lacked during the retrograde phase, especially when it comes to your finances, especially when it comes to any loans, debts, mortgages, intimate relationship in your life as well. So with Mercury regaining its strength, you regain the clarity that you may have lacked. And it's easier to express yourself. It's easier to collect your thoughts and make decisions that will help you to move forward rather than backwards. Mercury is your ruler, so whenever Mercury is retrograde, as I mentioned earlier, here you might feel more introspective and withdrawn. With Mercury stationing direct, here self-expression, communication becomes much easier. But at the same time, this could be when you will be making some really, really interesting plans for yourself for the future. Things will become more realistic, especially when Mercury moves into Taurus in the middle of May. Now, at the same time, Mercury rules over your 10th house. So if you experienced any setbacks in your career, if it was difficult to make progress, move forward, reach deadlines, connect with coworkers, with superiors, if this could have generally been the case, now with Mercury moving in a forward motion, you will generally regain the strength, things will move forward. It's like a forward momentum. And this could be also when you will be implementing new ideas, new goals, new objectives connected to professional life growth and development. Now, here for those who have been looking for a job and things have been moving very slowly, now you don't give up. Carry on, because when Mercury stations direct, you might actually hear from the potential employers that you tried to contact during the retrograde phase. But at the same time, here, carry on. And with Mercury moving in a forward motion, is this forward momentum, and very often things that were on hold during the retrograde phase suddenly move forward. So yes, you will see that there will be a lot of energizing energy, stimulating and pushing you forward to achieve your objectives in the career and professional life sense. Now, at the same time, if you've been wanting to implement some changes in your physical appearance, and you may have had some great ideas during the retrograde phase, now is the time to take action and see whether you can actually align with those ideas. So when Mercury is now in a retrograde, in a direct phase, in the direct motion, very often the ideas that we have, fresh and brand new ideas that we have during the retrograde phase, they don't often appeal once Mercury stations direct. So see how it works out for you, dear Virgos. But overall, I think this is really, really good news with Mercury moving in a forward motion and also conjunct the North Node on the 25th of April. This is generally here a time when you might have some really, really interesting thoughts at the idea. So take notes, listen to your intuition. Thank you. Hello, Libras, and welcome. So here with Mercury stationed in direct in Aries, feisty, fiery, dynamic energy of Aries. You might be making some major decisions, signing important work-related contracts. Now, perhaps some Libras will be getting engaged or married in the very near future. Or perhaps it could be about working with a coach, with a life coach, with a business coach. It doesn't only have to be a love relationship or a business. This could be also about you working with another person towards a specific goal. So I think it's a great time for doing so, because with Mercury in the North Node, it's much easier to make concrete plans. You regain the clarity that you may have lacked. It's easier to communicate with another. It's easier to express your thoughts, ideas, opinions when you join forces with others. So there is something brewing in these one-to-ones, whether this is a new contract, work-related, business-related contract, whether this is some kind of coaching that you need and you're going to begin now following the Aries eclipse, whether this is a love relationship, engagement, or marriage, whatever it is here, Mercury helps you to move forward. Mercury helps you to reach your goals here, especially connected to these one-to-one connections. Mercury rules over your 12th house. With Mercury retrograde ruling over the 12th house, there could have been a lot of introspective energy. There's a tendency towards withdrawal. So here again, you may have been reassessing, reviewing your life, reflecting upon your achievements. With Mercury now in a direct motion, I think it will be easier to make decisions, the right decisions that will help you to move forward with your life with more ease. So here Mercury direct will increase that productivity, especially since Mercury rules over your ninth house. So here Mercury direct and the North Node are really, really stimulating and helping you to make concrete plans that can help you to reach your purpose. They help you here, Mercury and the North Node, to see life from a very different angle, to have a bigger vision on your life, upon your life, to make bigger and long-lasting goals. I think there is a lot of expansive energy here with Mercury ruling over your ninth house. So I think this is about either making long-lasting goals or perhaps working towards achieving them. All right, so thank you very much, Libras. Hello, fellow Scorpios, and welcome. So here, Mercury will station direct in the sign of Aries in the sixth house. So the sixth house is the house of labor, work, service. I know it sounds quite dramatic, but this is the house of hard work, employment, service, your business, if you have your own business. But at the same time, small pets, everyday routine, responsibilities, tasks, duties. So Mercury direct, this is actually when you will be implementing some changes into your daily life, daily routine, daily responsibilities. You might be restructuring your routine. During Mercury retrograde, you may have realized that perhaps you don't exercise enough, you don't eat healthily enough, you don't have enough for your time for yourself. Maybe the work and personal life balance is unhealthy, and something needs to change. So you might be very well implementing these changes. Now, this Mercury, Mercury in Aries will cross over the degree of the eclipse. I know you probably heard that Mercury, the solar eclipse in Aries, will bring new employment, new job or opportunities. Many people have said that nothing really happened, but eclipses take some time to develop, even though this eclipse was already activated in January when the North Node crossed the degrees of this eclipse. But we need more activations. We need the first quarter moon as well, which will be in January 2025. But doesn't mean that nothing will happen until then, of course. Mercury is the planet of communication, speech, and rational mind, rational thinking, news. So Mercury will cross over the degree of the eclipse. So you might receive some important news around the final days of April connected to work, employment. This could be also when you'll have these amazing ideas that you want to implement. Perhaps you want to teach, perhaps you want to learn new skills, improve some existing skills to stand out in the crowd. We live in a very competitive environment these days, especially with so many people wanting to have their own business, wanting to work remotely, or perhaps on their own terms. Now, at the same time, with Mercury stationing direct. So here you might be implementing dietary changes as well. You feel like you're not living the most healthy lifestyle. So with Mercury stationing direct, you might be implementing changes into your diet and what you eat, any daily habits. This sort of dynamics will be also restructured, changed, modified as we end the retrograde phase. But at the same time, it could be also when you'll be making some major decisions in terms of how you can reach your goals, how you can reach your objectives as well. Now, pay attention to generally what's on your mind, or if sometimes the universe is trying to tell us something, but if we are overly busy with something else, we don't see what we should really or truly pay attention to. So here, definitely pay attention to your thoughts, because you might have this opportunity to really implementing some interesting and positive changes that could help you to climb your career ladder, that could help you to simplify your life or change your lifestyle in a positive sense. So for those who've been wanting to get a pet, and you've been thinking about this during the retrograde phase, you might actually make this decision once Mercury is in direct motion. Mercury rules over the 11th house of long-term goals, hopes, objectives, and wishes. So pay attention to your thoughts. What signs is the universe trying to show you or to tell you? Are you stuck in the rut? Are you not seeing any fulfilling outcomes and results of your hard work? Then this is a time to take action. This is a time to really pay attention on how you can make your dreams a reality, how you can make get closer to your purpose, to your objectives as well. It's not easy for us Scorpios here. Scorpios are about reinventing themselves, death and rebirth, and that intensity. But I think there's this amazing opportunity for making a difference, for reaching your goals. And I think you will have a lot of new ideas. Johnny, I think the Aries season has been really hectic. And, whenever there are so many planets in the sixth house, life is overwhelming. Lots of activities, lots of responsibilities, tasks, duties. I don't know how about you, but insomnia has been a big issue during this eclipse season. It got better after the Libra eclipse was over, but I think once we move into Taurus season, and I'm really excited about Jupiter in the 8th house, because this can bring some really interesting rewards through any investments, or maybe even some gains as well. I'm kind of thinking, oh, I want to buy a lottery ticket. Not that I believe in lottery, but I think there is more luck when it comes to money that comes through different sources than your regular monthly or weekly, whatever income. It's about trying something new, being more adventurous, open-minded as well. So take this opportunity, listen to your thoughts, listen to your intuition. Mercury in a direct motion will help us to regain the mental clarity that we may have lacked. It's a forward momentum at your work, employment. You will be modifying your daily life, implementing healthy changes to improve your lifestyle. Thank you very much. Sagittarius, welcome. All right, so here we've got the Mercury retrograde ending its retrograde phase on the 25th in your 5th house. Mercury retrograde in the 5th house can bring creative blockages. That's the first thing that comes into my mind. This is the area of creativity, self-expression. So perhaps it was said more difficult to express yourself creatively, authentically, freely, or maybe you experienced some creative blockages and it was difficult to move forward with any projects, especially new projects, new ideas. But at the same time, anything that you've been working on, perhaps you lack that motivation and mental clarity in regards to which direction you want to take or which option is the best moving forward. With Mercury in a direct motion, you regain the mental clarity that you may have lacked. This is also when you will be maybe implementing some changes, new ideas, goals when it comes to your parenting style, when it comes to your children. And in terms of your romantic side of life, this is when generally you might have a better clarity of where is it that you stand in your relationship, especially if you experienced misunderstandings or lack of clarity potentially, especially since Mercury rules over your 7th house of one-to-one connection. So there could have been energy connected to introspection, withdrawal, perhaps you may have distanced yourself from someone close to your heart or vice versa. And you may have been reviewing some important connections in your life contracts as well. But I think you will have a better clarity, as I mentioned just a moment ago, of where is it that you stand in your relationship, in your partnership, or perhaps if you want to end your contract with a certain organization or with a certain individual, a coach or an accountant and financial advisor, whatever it is, then you might make this important decision once Mercury stations direct. Now, as Mercury stations direct, it will conjunct or conjoin with the North Node. And here the North Node is about the future, the unexplored. The North Node helps us to move forward. And generally, the North Node is about realigning ourselves with our purpose. Aries energy connects beautifully with your Sagittarius ascendant. They are both fire signs. So I think that you might be making some really important decisions once Mercury stations direct regarding your work, regarding your future, regarding your children, relationships as well. Here, Mercury rules over your 10th house as well, so that's your career, professional life, growth and development. So as you can see, all the planets pretty much are in the lower part of your chart. So there's a lot of energy stimulating you to really, really concentrate on your emotional part of your life, your family dynamics, work, service, skills as well. Now, yes, so basically with Mercury retrograde, if you experience some setbacks, delays, lack of clarity in regards to where is that you stand with your career, then with Mercury stationing direct, you will regain the clarity that you will have lacked, and you might be making some important decisions regarding your career. Perhaps if you've been thinking about changing your job, changing your organization, or maybe even if you've been unemployed for quite some time, or if you've been on your maternity leave, he will make you stationing direct. This is when you might experience this forward momentum, and it will be easier to make a decision that will consequently have a long-term effect upon your life. You might feel impatient as well about this decision you want to make regarding your career, regarding your public image, reputation, but generally take it easy, because with Mercury in the North Node aligning tightly, and Mercury will cross over the degree of this eclipse as well, this is generally connected to some long-term decisions. Now, having said that, some Sagittarius might be also conceiving in the next few months between now and January. So yes, conception or childbirth, having conversations about family planning. This is also very much connected to these energies. But I think for those who deal with their career and professional life, any setbacks, delays here, this shouldn't be the case anymore once Mercury stations direct. And if it was difficult for you to make progress in your career, or to generally reach out or connect with certain business professionals, here again, with Mercury in a forward motion, things generally move forward at a much faster pace, with more ease as well. All right, so Capricorns, this is happening in your fourth house. The fourth house deals with our family foundations, home-related matters as well. So here, our emotional life or emotional well-being is also very much highlighted. Your heritage, your roots, where you come from. You've just had an eclipse here on the 8th of April, and that was a solar eclipse with Chiron, the North Node. So lots of healing of perhaps some important family dynamics, relationships, old wounds, childhood memories. But at the same time, this Mercury now stationing direct will align with the North Node, and it will go over that degree of the eclipse as it moves forwards towards the end of April. So it will trigger the degree of this eclipse. And I think there are some big changes coming up for you, dear Capricorns, in the area of your home. So whether this is a major renovation that is coming up, perhaps you're moving, relocating, buying, investing your money, and perhaps your parents are playing a big role in your life at this point. Perhaps they are moving closer to you, or they are retiring. So there is a lot happening in this area of your life. And I think you'll be making some major decisions as well, as Mercury and the North Node are aligned here in the second part of April. And as Mercury stations direct, it will be conjunct the North Node. It will cross the degree of the eclipse as well moving forward. So you'll be making some major decisions regarding your home, regarding your family dynamics, regarding the future of your home as well. Now, if you experience any delays, lack of clarity regarding where your home is, or perhaps if there was some kind of instability in the area of home, if it was difficult to make concrete decisions, things should generally move forward, improve as Mercury stations direct. This is a common theme of Mercury retrograde. We often lack clarity. We often we don't feel grounded. We feel indecisive. Things should move forward. There's a forward momentum, so it will be easier to make decisions related to your home. Make plans as well. Find the right people to help you with to achieve your home-related goals as well. Mercury rules over your 6th house and your 9th house. So here, if you experienced any delays and setbacks at your work, or perhaps if it was difficult to be organized or get on with your daily responsibilities, tasks, time management could have been also affected. These themes will also improve. Your productivity should increase as well. Now, for some Capricorns, perhaps you'll be making some important decisions regarding your work, your employment. You might be also implementing some adjustments, changes into your lifestyle, daily routine, simplifying your life. If you feel like you've got too much going on in your daily life, if there isn't a healthy balance between your work and personal life, then with Mercury stationing direct, moving forward, you will be implementing the necessary changes that generally would have a positive impact upon your everyday routine. With Mercury also ruling over your ninth house, this is generally about perhaps changing your perspective upon certain aspects of your life. Your worldviews might change or be modified. And at the same time here, I think this is also about having a bigger vision of on your life, being more realistic, optimistic, practical when it comes to achieving your long-term goals, hopes, wishes for the future as well. You will be thinking about your future, and you will be thinking about what steps you can take to reach some important goals in your life, some important objectives as well. It will be much easier to do so with Mercury now being in a direct motion. So here we go. Thank you very much. Aquarius, so here your third house was triggered and influenced, impacted by this retrograde phase. And this is a huge deal because when we can't communicate effectively, when we can't think clearly, when we can't make concrete decisions, this can affect many areas of our life. So if you experience maybe perhaps lack of clarity in terms of which direction you should take, if there was if you experience misunderstandings with others, it was difficult to collect your thoughts. Perhaps some creative blockages could have been very much the case as well, since Mercury rules over your fifth house. Things should get much better now moving forward. Mercury changing direction into a direct motion. This is like a forward momentum. Things speed up, you regain the clarity that you may have lacked. You are ready to implement the necessary changes in order to make your life a much better experience. So this is a good time for signing contracts, for learning, studying, enrolling in short courses as well. And you might see that there's a lot of movement, action, communication taking place, but basically you are going to be able to deal with these activities with more ease. Self-expression is enhanced as well when Mercury is in a direct motion. And it could have been affected, of course, because with Mercury ruling over your fifth house, perhaps it was difficult to express yourself authentically, freely. Perhaps it was difficult to collect your thoughts. There could have been that mental cloudiness taking place, as well as anything to do with negative thinking. So here, generally, it will be easier to make decisions. It will be easier to collect your thoughts. So speech is generally positively influenced when Mercury is in a direct motion here in your third house. I think you'll be making some big decisions. I think you'll be maybe signing some contracts, or you might be having some important exams. There is something going on here. We had an eclipse in Aries on the 8th, and Mercury will go over this eclipse in the final days of April. Mercury aligns tightly with the North Node as well. So what does it mean? You're making some important decisions in these final days of April that will have a very important impact upon your life. The North Node is here with Mercury. The North Node is about the future, the unknown, the unexplored. Sometimes we fear the unknown, but here it's necessary to move in this direction and to face that North Node energy in order to evolve, in order to grow spiritually and professionally, for example. So here, many Aquarius rising individuals might be also implementing some positive changes that could help them to communicate more effectively. So here, if you experienced any creative blockages as well, with Mercury ruling over your fifth house, being retrograde, this could have been the case, you will see that it will be easier to move ahead with certain hobbies, projects, interests that perhaps were taking a very slow turn during the retrograde phase. So things will be moving much faster at a much faster pace when Mercury is in Aries in a direct motion. Bear in mind, it will take a few days for Mercury to regain its strength. And also Mercury rules over your 8th house. So I think you'll be reinventing yourself. Pluto is in your 1st house, really well establishing itself. And at the same time, you've got the activation of the 8th house because Mercury rules over your 8th house. So you might be moving away, shifting away from some old patterns, old way of thinkings, old and outlived habits. So there is this energy that is connected to death and rebirth, regeneration. And you might have this really strong need to reinvent yourself as Mercury stations direct. And it is also here at this point aligned with the North Node, which will cross over. So you will have more confidence in regards to an idea that perhaps seemed fantastic, but you didn't have the inner confidence to move forward with it. All right, so here we go. Let's move to the next sign. Pisces, this is your 2nd house. So here, your income, finances, resources, possessions, and Mercury stationing direct here. It's a big deal because I think many Pisces will be implementing necessary changes into their financial area of life. So perhaps new ways to make money or save money. This is definitely the case. Something fresh, I think, of that North Node and Mercury conjunction. Mercury will take a few days to regain its strength, but it's a really fantastic time for implementing something fresh and new, something that could help you to improve your income area, financial, and help you to establish more financial security and stability. Perhaps some good news regarding your income situation, perhaps some good news regarding your business if you have your own business. And this could be also connected to you thinking about some investments and or some major purchases. I think there's something that connects you to your purpose with that North Node energy. So maybe many Pisceans will be making major decisions that will have a long-lasting result, an outcome, because of that eclipse influence. And we've just had an eclipse in Aries on the 8th. Mercury will go over the degree of this eclipse, so it will activate it. And I think there is some major shift of energy happening here, without a doubt. So perhaps a new job, new source of income, new ways to save or earn money. So maybe some financial gains. Hopefully this is the case for you. And perhaps some bonuses, or even in investments, as I mentioned earlier, or some major purchases. Now, at the same time, you might be also returning some items or an item that you purchased during the retrograde phase. You may change your mind. Mercury also rules different area of your life. So that's the 4th house and also your 7th house. So you might be signing contracts moving forward after this retrograde is over. Because for many Pisceans, this is about the new contracts, new work-related professional, like professional contracts, so work career-related contracts. And with the 7th house being activated, maybe there are some changes to your contract. Maybe there's some kind of shift, or maybe you change your mind. This is all possible. Mercury can play games and tricks with us. So here, think clearly and deeply, especially if you're going to be signing anything that was initiated during the retrograde phase. So yes, contracts and maybe partnerships, collaborations, this kind of dynamics are highlighted. These one-to-one connections, perhaps a new client someone might gain a really good client after this retrograde is over. Or perhaps you'll be making some important plans with your significant other regarding your future, and this would be related to your financial area of life to a certain extent. And with the home life being activated here again, a forward momentum related with the matters related to your home sphere. And perhaps if things have been moving at a slower pace when it comes to First of all, when it comes to any renovations, when it comes to if you've been waiting for a furniture delivery or a delivery of anything else connected to your home, and if things have been really, really delayed, they might finally, they should hopefully arrive once this retrograde is over, because retrogrades tend to delay certain aspects of our life or deliveries, because Mercury is connected to communication, transportation, and deliveries as well. So if you experience deliveries of certain furniture or objects for your home, then here, after this retrograde is over, you will see that things will speed up and move forward at a much, much faster pace. You will also regain the clarity that you possibly lacked when it comes to anything to do with your home plans and projects. If you've been thinking about moving, relocating, then now would be a good time for making more concrete decisions. So overall, when Mercury station is direct, this is the time to make decisions, to take action, because during retrograde phase, there's a lot of thoughts, introspection, and ideas. But once the retrograde is over, this is when we usually know where is it that we stand and what decision we should take, which direction we should go moving forward, because we regain the clarity that we have lack, and that mental confusion usually is dissolved as well gradually. So yes, changes related to your home, but most likely a forward momentum and more clarity in regards to your home related situation as well moving forward. All right, so here we go. Thank you very much, Pisces. All right, so we reached the final sign for this forecast. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you, and until the next time, bye for now.